doing okay. I still have my Halloween nails on. They really need to come off. But I've had a lovely PR package from Born Pretty. They send me a list and I choose like five things from them. But I was a bit cheeky this time and I was like, you know that poking paint gel stuff that you've got? Do you mind if I have one sent to me? And they did. I was so excited. And I didn't even realise that you needed like a specific base coat for it as well. So I'm glad that they sent me the actual base coat for it. But I asked for the non-stick extension hand gel in clear, so the NSG01. This can be, it's a moulding gel. A sculpting gel really, like you can make anything from it. It's a semi-solid gel. It doesn't really self-level. I mean, I made like little balls from it and they sat there for a good 5 minutes and they didn't deform like in shape or nothing. So very, very good. I'm thinking like snowmen and little Santa hats and just try and make something with them. Then the 5D sculpting gel, which is a lot like the rhinestone glue gel from Macart, but it holds its shape incredibly well. Obviously this is more for, rather than putting rhinestones on your nails and such, I mean it's going to work with that. It's going to hold it in place and you could do like your whole nail before having to cure it, because I don't think they're going to move at all. But this is more for like 3D aspects of nails. Then we have a nude, a jelly nude. I fell in love with this when I saw it on the website, and then obviously it was in the list. I was like, yeah, I've got to have this one. It's so, so nice. And then Spider Lily, Red Spider Lily. This is a cat eye, MY154. Whenever I have something off Born Pretty, like I choose some, look at this. Oh my gosh. Yeah, when they send me the list and I choose some things, by the time it comes, I've already forgotten what I've asked for / ordered. I asked for this one as well. It is the Flowing Light White MY77, another cat eye. But yeah, so I used to, back in the day, when I was choosing what I'd want from the list, I would try and quickly sketch a design, and then I just stopped doing that for some reason, hoping maybe I was going to do it later or something, I don't know. But yeah, so now every time it comes I'm like, oh yeah, it's always a surprise. But then it's a bit shock horror because I'm like, I didn't design anything on paper or like digitally. I haven't written anything down, and then the design that I end up doing isn't the original design. Do you know what I mean? So it's always a bit of a pain, but we manage in the end. I think we make some nice designs in the end. So I've put the spider gel, the Red Spider Lily, I think it's called, isn't it, on the thumb. And then we're going to take the jelly nude and we're going to put that on the index and the middle finger, because I wasn't so sure what I wanted to do with the ring and the pinky just then. But I decided that the thumb and the ring are going to be 2 coats of the red, and we'll jelly nude the other 3. So then on top of the jelly nude, we're going to use that Flowing Light White cat eye stuff. And I kind of wanted to like zhuzh it all up, obviously, but then push it down towards the free edge before towards the tip, to kind of like create a little bit of a French. Just like push those pigments towards the free edge so that you can still see that jelly nude near the top. So it's almost like we've literally drawn a French there, but you can only see it in like certain angles and stuff. I really like that effect with the cat eyes when they're cat eyes like those ones. Then I really wanted to play with the poking gel. So I put the base coat on, the base gel, the poking base gel on the thumbnail first. And then I had to stop it before I cured it because I was like, I don't know whether you're supposed to cure this. I was like, surely you've got to cure it. You do. So I applied all of that and I cured it. And then I went in with the poking gel. And I will tell you the first mistake that I made. So that poking gel, the base, do not put it over the entire nail. So one tutorial I watched, they didn't put it towards the cuticle. They left a couple of millimeters gap. I would highly recommend doing that all around the outside of your nail. So whether it's a press on or not, if it's a natural nail, whichever, do not put that poking base gel towards any of the edges, because it just wants to drag in. Can you see? It's happening all around that nail. So that is like top tip number one. Even though that video, I think it was a Born Pretty video as well, them showing you how to use it, it definitely helped not putting it anywhere near the edges of the nails. So you literally just have to scratch into it, not even like much pressure at all. As long as you're dragging that product away from the underside of the, not the underside of the nail, the actual nail, you're going to make patterns and shapes. It's just going to all push away from where you've dug in, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean. So I used the little cuticle stick. I was going to say cocktail stick. You could use a cocktail stick, actually. Anything like that. I used the cuticle stick first. The one that they gave me. I tried it with a little wooden one because I thought maybe that would be better because it might absorb some of the polish itself. I don't think I saw any difference between the plastic and the wooden one. Then I thought we will try a brush. A brush might be able to like dig in, and I mean there's no digging, it's just really hard to explain, to be honest. But you are just moving, just draw into it, right into it, and it will just pull away. And then I thought, oh, maybe it'll work even better with like the thinnest coat available. And I think if I or yourself was to do this, then it kind of needs to be on a little bit of a lighter background. This red is super dark. It's really nice, but super dark. So yeah, what I'm basically saying is you can use any tool you like. The pink cuticle, like a plastic one, cuticle pusher, a wooden one. You could use a brush. You can use a bobby pin, a push, I think. Anything that will scratch into it slightly. An inkless pen, anything like that. So here I'm showing you on the ring finger that I was going to use the poking gel on as well, just exactly where to stop with that, the base. But then I end up not doing anything on that nail with the poking gel. I did try a few things out off camera, but none of them really, they weren't really doing it for this set in particular. So in the end, we'll go back to that ring finger in a second, and on the middle finger I'm going to take some of that red cat eye. I'm going to do each individual dot, so one dot at a time, wiggle the magnet, cure it in place. But I'm only going to do a flash cure, so I'm only going to do like 15-second cure for each dot before I move on to the next one. And I'm just going to do lots of 3, so 3 altogether. And then we can give them all a full cure when we're on the last one anyway. I know it's only like November, it's like beginning of November, and it's been firework night in the UK, and it's Remembrance Day today, actually, like yesterday for everyone else. But we've had so many fireworks over the weekend. We went to a display last night, it was incredible. Obviously, like the rest of the world, what do you have? Because obviously we have bonfire night, 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder treason and plot. So Guy Fawkes tried to blow up the members, the Parliament building, blah blah blah. So we celebrate by having a bonfire and doing lots of fireworks. And I know obviously America have got Independence Day. What do the rest of the world have? What do you celebrate where you celebrate with fireworks? Oh, and when? Like, what time of year is it? Anyway, I have moved on to that non-stick extension gel, the one that you can like roll into a ball and whatnot, and then pop it on the nail, and it's not going to go anywhere, like at all. It didn't self-level one bit. So I thought we'd try and make those little berries that I've made kind of like 3D. So the plan was, let's do it a little bit like we did the balls, like the dots themselves. We'll do one at a time. And then I thought that's going to be far too time consuming to do each individual ball. So we'll just do all 3 together, give them a cure, and then move on to the next. But you know what? We didn't even need to do that. We could have just put all the balls on and cured them all at the same time, because that gel is not going anywhere. Okay, so then I grabbed some of the gels that I've already got from Born Pretty, and I grabbed a few green. So we've got Silky White Series number 25, 28 and 94. So 25 and 28 are the most Christmassy of the greens that I have. And then I just thought I'd pick up a light green one so that we could add some dimension to it and a little bit of depth to it. A little bit of highlights and lowlights. So I'm just going to do some lines coming off. So 2 lines for each group of berries. And while those lines are still wet, with the very tippy tip of the brush, we're going to try and like fan them out. So it's wider near the berries and then it gets thinner towards the very tip. So I do it in the darkest of the greens, I think. And then I pop that into Cure and then I go in with the 2 other greens. So I go in with the next shade up, like the medium green that I've got. And I don't think I cure this before I go in with the tiniest bit of that really bright green, the Silky White Series number 94. And that just like, it blends into the other green, like the wet green that we've just put on. So it's not adding too much of the light green to it, but it's just adding a few little highlights here, there and everywhere, wherever we wish to put them. I am going to go ahead and put some white on there eventually, I think. I did cure it. I think I did. And then we went in with the light green. I know for a fact on the other 2 nails, so the index and the pinky, I think it got to those 2, and that's where I was like, we're not going to cure the middle green, we'll just add the light green straight onto it. I think that's what happened, but don't trust me on that because I can't quite remember. It's been a while. So I'm going to add some white. I've actually matte top coated the whole thing, and I glossy top coated over just the berries themselves. And then once that's all cured, we can put some white on and then sprinkle over. I think I put some white on the berries as well, not just the leaves. I'm sure I do. Yeah, I do. And then we can just sprinkle some clear acrylic powder onto it, or even the finest white powder you have, and it'll look a little bit embossed and a little bit like snow. One of my favourite things to do at Christmas. Well, on Christmas nails that is anyway. So give that all a little sprinkle, tap it off, and then you can pop that in the lamp for a full cure. It's going to stick to only the white that we've put down, and then once it's cured you can get a scrubby brush and just scrub off any of that excess. So it's not going to come off, and I love it. One of my favourite things, like I said. I love doing like sweater kind of nails, that sort of thing. I think that's really nice. So the ring finger that I did end up putting the poke and base gel on, but didn't actually use the poke and base gel on this nail. We're just going to do some rather basic icicles. So it's a little bit like a drip nail, but instead of making like the round bulbous bit and it goes thin towards the cuticle area, it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be nice and thick near the top and then go to like little, almost like fangs, really long wiggly fangs. Then once that is cured in place, all of that white, I'm going to try and make them a bit more 3D like. So I'm going to take some of that 5D sculpting gel out of the tube. Again, using it just like I use the rhinestone glue gel. I'm going to put a blob right on the thickest part and then use the brush to kind of drag it down. This stuff is incredibly thick. I don't know how to explain it. It's not super thick. It doesn't move. Like if you just put a blob down, it's going to stay there. But when you drag it with the brush, it's almost like dragging it through, I'd say like a whipped cream consistency. It's so soft, so thin at the same time, but it just doesn't move. It doesn't move. You can position it however you want. You can move it to wherever you want and it will stay there. It is not moving at all. So I'm going to do all that to the icicles, give them a full cure. Then I'm going to glossy top coat, the whole lot. And then we're going to matte over the icicles, I'm going to do another layer of white over the sculpting gel that we just did, just to make them really stand out. You could go ahead and put some nail wipe top coat over the top of it, whichever you prefer, and then I'm going to sprinkle it with the clear acrylic powder again so that it just sticks to all of the icicles, and then pop that in the lamp for a cure. Again, this would be great with some really fine iridescent white glitter, like super fine glitter. It would, the sparkles that it would give, it would be so pretty. So same again with this one. Once the clear acrylic is on, give it a full cure, and then you can scrub off the excess once it's fully cured with a nail brush. And then we are on to the last two nails, which are going to be pretty much identical but kind of like opposite. So I've taken the Pro Painting Gel in white, and with my super thin brush I'm just going to do some swags and swoops, really thin lines, just swoopy and swaggy. And that's going to be on both nails, the index and the pinky. Like I said, we're going to try not make them super identical, but they're going to have the same things on them, not necessarily the same position, but they're both going to have these swoops and swags, and they're both going to have a little bit of the holly and berries on them as well. Again, like I said, I didn't really have an idea going into this. I chose all the products with an idea in mind, clearly, but then when they came, I just couldn't remember for the life of me. You know that a lot has been going on anyway just lately, so why the hell I didn't decide to draw something as I was choosing like I used to, I have no idea. Once the swags and swoops are done, we're going to do some straight lines. I did forget about that. Oh yeah, and I found when I was rooting through all of my Born Pretty stuff, now I could have used some painting gel that I've got. They've got gold and gold glitter and stuff, but I found the liner. So it's a really thin line brush in the bottle. Madame Glam's done some as well, I think. Maybe a few people actually. I think McCartan Beetles have as well. So it's not like a new thing. It's not new on the scene. I think it's been around for quite a while. And I've had this bottle for a year or two. And I've never really reached for it apart from at Christmas. So I thought it was only fitting. It's now Christmas, let's use it again. So with the Pro Painting Gel and some of the red Spider Lily cat eye and some of that gold liner gel paint, gel polish, sorry, we're just going to add a few dots. Now I am going to do like the white, cure it, red, cure it, gold, cure it. I don't want any of them touching, and I'm just going to, there's like no rhyme or reason. If I think a dot needs to go in a certain place, I just popped it down. And I'm trying to like keep the same sort of distance between them all. But if I feel like a dot needs to go there to make it look better, I'm going to do that. So all along the down lines that we've done and at the bottom, and all along those swag lines that we've done as well. And then we're just going to add 3 dots of that red Spider Lily cat eye in the corner, so the bottom left for the pinky and bottom right for the index, I think. And same again, but slightly different because this is where I use the medium toned first. So we use the medium as the base, cure that, and then I use the dark, go over the top, and before I cure it, I add a little bit of that lighter green colour. Then we're going to glossy top coat over the whole of the nail. Or is it matte? Do I use matte? No, I use glossy. So a glossy top coat over all of it. Then I go in with that little detail brush and add a few little streaks of white over the leaves and on top of the berries. Sprinkle that clear acrylic powder all over that nail again. Tap off the excess, give it a full cure, give it a scrub, and we're done. Holy moly. How many products did I use? So many. But they're all going to be listed or linked, both, in the description box down below. And I'm going to go and get myself hot chocolate because I'm talking gibberish. But let me know what you think of this design. That cat eye, that silvery white one, it's so pretty. But it's officially my first Christmas design of the year, and I have done another one. I've done 3 or 4 actually filmed, ready to go up, so I'm not going to let you guys down again. I'm letting myself down with how I'm talking. Just can't talk. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.